even though I think he want to stay in that special housing because I heard he done got whooped on about 3 times already in there. And I got that confirmed from a very, very good source. But nothing major, just, kicked, stumped, hit.
There were rumors floating around that he was attacked in jail.
I heard that too.
Is there any truth in that?
People that I know, I lived in Vegas. I moved to Vegas in '99. And I knew a lot of guys out there. I was in the motorcycle club the whole thing. And one of my club brothers, a friend of mine, told me that it happened. And then I heard it from Reggie. So I'm like, okay, that might be true.
Rumors have been circulating that Keefie D is a small fish in a very huge pond behind bars, and it appears that his life may be in jeopardy. However, Keef was able to communicate with us from his prison cell, and it's not a good picture of what's truly going on with him during these pivotal times in his life. Vegas isn't what he was expecting. Hey everyone, can you believe that 27 years have passed since Tupac was shot during the chaotic drive-by incident in Vegas? The police have just apprehended a man who is connected to the entire situation. On September 29th, Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefie D, a member of the Southside Compton Crips, who has been acting as though he saw the entire thing, was taken into custody. Thus, in July, the police showed up at Keefie D's location in search of computers and other electronics. There is a rumor that the grand jury has been examining the evidence for several months. For a while now, Keefie D has been disclosing details regarding the incident. In fact, she revealed them in her 2019 memoir, Compton Street Legend. And here's the thing. Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, the man accused of popping off Tupac back in 1996, is his uncle. Despite being eliminated in 1998, Anderson insisted again that he wasn't the one who dirty hit Tupac. To refresh your memory, Tupac was hit several times on September 7, 1996. A Cadillac arrived and began to blaze as the Dude and Suge Knight were driving along in the BMW. At the height of his rap career, Tupac bounced a week later at the age of just 25. Having begun to leak information about being in the Cadillac in 2018, Keefe D is currently the only survivor of that ride. In 2010, he disclosed the entire incident to police, included it in his biography, and claimed it was his way out of jail time for evading accusations related to a drug ring. For years, Tupac's murder has been the subject of endless rumors and hypotheses in the community, including the possibility that it was connected to Biggie's death 6 months later. Retired LAPD Detective Greg Kading, who worked the case, claims that up until Keefe D started talking out of turn, it was a true mystery. He now claims that Keefe D plunged headfirst into the center of the entire plot. Crazy, huh? Who is this Keefe D cat? And how did he end up involved in the largest case in the history of the LAPD? That, my buddy, is a gang story fit for the books. Keefe D, born on June 14, 1963, and currently represents the Southside Compton Crips in the California gang scene. His life has been a crazy trip filled with personal tragedies, gang activity, and a significant amount of incarceration. Keefe D has an enormous family consisting of 6 brothers and 6 sisters. So his early years were spent in a gang environment. When he was only 15, his mother passed away in 1980 from colon cancer. Look into this. Keefe D revealed in his 2018 memoir that he was diagnosed with the same disease that killed his mother in 2014. Strange twist, huh? Fortunately, though, he's currently in remission. He may have to serve time if he is found guilty of something. Cancer is no laughing matter. Keefe D experienced some really difficult family setbacks in addition to losing his mother. One of his brothers passed away from cancer, while the other was shot in Compton. His progress was severely hampered by the death of his older brother due to street violence. After a very difficult life, he became deeply involved in the criminal world, spending more than 10 years in prison and dealing with various forms of criminal depravity. The guy even dropped 2 clips at the residence of a rival gang member. Talk about heated disputes. Because of peer pressure and other factors, He joined the criminal scene in 1971, which marked the beginning of his criminal path. He later attempted to earn real money at Compton College, but it didn't add up quickly enough. He thus entered the drug trade, and lo and behold, it paid well. If only in terms of finances. But the law eventually caught up with him, and he served time between 85 and 89. And here's the thing, prison didn't make him better. On the contrary, it made him even more resilient. After leaving, Keefie D made his way into the hip-hop scene, hanging out with Eazy-E and Harry O, the former drug lord who made a name for himself in the death prison record culture, which also gave rise to Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Tupac. In relation to Tupac, Keefie D also revealed information about him. Strangely enough, he was connected to Harry O, who was released from prison in 2021 after 88 years of incarceration due to Trump's actions. But wait, there's more to this tale. Suge Knight, another co-founder of Death Row, and Keefie D had a close relationship until things went south. Playing Pop Warner football together since they were little, they were best friends. Suge was the center, and Keefie D was the running back. However, Keefie D and P connected. Diddy, everything went wrong. Diddy mishandled a low rider he rented for a music video, but at least he covered the cost of the repairs. That began a connection even though Diddy's Bad Boy Records and Death Row were competing with each other. 3 days after the Oscars, Tupac and other individuals attack a member of a La Gang in a hotel lobby following a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas. It is thought that this is retaliation for an earlier attack on someone connected to Death Row. As a result, Death Row leader Suge Knight will be imprisoned. And less than 3 hours later, based on certain police claims,
just 3 days after the awards, Tupac and others attack an LA gang member in a hotel lobby after a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas. Believed to be in response to an earlier assault against someone affiliated with Death Row, the attack will land Death Row head Suge Knight in jail, and according to some police reports, lead to Tupac being shot less than 3 hours later.
You said the shots came from the back. Big Dre, Orlando. Who shot Tupac?
The keeper for the code of the streets. It just came from the backseat, bro.
in a way, Keefe D created this issue for himself. His memoir, Compton Street Legend, revealed all the details of his alleged involvement in Tupac's demise. He openly boasted in that book that he was one of the few surviving witnesses, along with Death Row Records mogul Suge Knight, who was rolling with Tupac. A target was essentially placed on Keefe D's back by his memoir and all of the interviews he conducted after publishing the book. Thus, this past summer, the Las Vegas police, emboldened by Keefe D's book and interviews, made the decision to reopen the investigation. Keefe D details what he says transpired before to the shooting in his memoir. When Orlando baby Lane Anderson, a Southside Compton Crip, and Tupac and Suge Knight happened to meet Pats in the hotel lobby while in Vegas for a brawl, things became heated. Keefe D claims that after Knight's group pursued Anderson and was photographed, they went to a bar named Club 662. They waited outside before going to another location known as the Carriage House. According to Keefe D, they then got a good look at Tupac in his BMW, and it all happened at a red light on Las Vegas Boulevard. According to Keefe D, Tupac reached under his seat and pulled out a piece, which is when everything went crazy. After gunfire, according to Keefe D, one of his guys in the rear seat began firing back. According to him, Suge was just barely missed by the first shot, and after the gunfire stopped, they bounced, followed by a carload of women. Crazy, huh? Even with bullets flying everywhere, Tupac's purported tough guys did nothing. Keefe D claims their ride was amazing, but he questions why everyone seemed to be behaving as though Tupac were an angel. Dude had problems in Atlanta, like busting off-duty police officers. Knowing that the police would be after them, they abandoned their damaged vehicle. The real deal is here. He is claiming that he was not a shooter. He doesn't name people in the book, but he has revealed in interviews that Tupac was hit by his nephew Orlando baby Lane Anderson. Tupac and Anderson had a falling out before Anderson was shot in 1998. Terrence Bubble Up Brown and Deander Freaky Smith, the other guys that were with Keefie D that night, are also no longer with us. Smith passed away naturally in 2004 and Brown was shot in Los Angeles in 2015. Upon searching Keefie D's location, they discovered bullets, laptops, and even a copy of his own book. Greg Kading claims that Keefie D's book was a catalyst for the accusations to eventually proceed. According to Kading, Keefie D put himself into the center of the entire plot. The charges, murder with a deadly weapon, are serious ones. The lone survivor of the group that allegedly plotted to kill Tupac is Keefe D. To put it briefly, Keefe D is standing by his account, claiming that Tupac and Suge caused their own problems by meddling with Baby Lane. Approaching at the street level, he refers to the killings as collateral damage. He is now experiencing regret for Tupac's family, supporters, and particularly his mother, Afeni Shakur. "Oh my god, mate. Up until I met your motherfucking ass, I was ecstatic. That's incorrect, man. Go on, my friend. I need to throw a bone or something to a dog." Many people are wondering why Keefe D went on such a self-snitching binge. It sounds insane, don't you think? Well, it might appear that way to someone who wasn't involved in the action. However, Keef took it personally. Very intimate. The dude developed feelings after dropping that book and Keefe D's story becoming viral. He had the impression that this was his story, his chance to reveal the reality of what had occurred to the renowned artist. Here's the twist, though. He must have been incredibly jealous when his book was made into a documentary in 2015, 4 years later. He was making money off of what he believed to be his tale, but his reputation had been damaged by breaking the law and getting close to the federal government. Keef D couldn't take it when someone else was telling the narrative instead of him, even though the police under Greg Kading's leadership were generating money. Keef D's decision to publicly air his dirty laundry from that moment onwards essentially sealed the deal for him. He went on every podcast and talk show he could find, spilling the beans on all the gory events that led to Tupac's demise. Greg Kading revealed that Keef D's intense desire to be in charge of the story and reveal it himself drove him to reveal the events of '96. Keefe D would drop the tragic details of Tupac's death on any podcast or talk show. So why would he do this carelessly? Why did Keefe D believe he was invincible? As it happens, it goes beyond ego. It's been reported that he revealed more about himself than just his enormous ego. Popular YouTuber DJ Vlad revealed all in a recent interview. He claimed that Keefe D thought he was immune from prosecution, which was one of the reasons he went on Vlad TV, a channel with over 5 million viewers, and revealed the story. It seems that he made a deal with the federal government in 2008. You may be asking if Keefe D will go to jail at this point. When he first told the feds in 2008 and continued to do so in interviews, he essentially blamed his nephew for being the trigger man. In Nevada, aiding and abetting can now get you seriously in trouble. You bear the same liability if you knowingly aid in a criminal act while in collusion with them. Keefe D was charged with murder when he was handcuffed, allegedly because he was carrying a weapon and wanted to strengthen a criminal group. Recall that Keefe D was leading the Southside Compton Crips gang when Tupac was hit. He was aware that the heat was on, and when he was apprehended, he revealed the details of Tupac's murder as if it were nothing at all, claiming he was in the midst of the largest case Vegas had ever seen.
Mr. Davis, sir, what is your full name?
Dwayne Keef Davis.
How old are you?
I'm 60.
How far did you go in school?
I did like a year in college.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was the last thing you said?
UCLA.
Do you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, are you currently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcoholic beverages at this time?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand the proceedings that are happening here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, are you familiar with the one charge that you're facing?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that charge?
Yes, ma'am.
As to that charge, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Sir, you have the right to have a jury trial set within 60 days. Would you like to invoke or waive that right?
Very.
Okay. This case is going to be assigned to Department 2. This case is going to have a status check trial setting in Department 2. That date is?
November 7th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I plan on
However, these defenders are remaining silent and not saying anything to the media, according to KTNV. KT has been attempting to acquire renowned defense lawyer Ross Goodman, but it has been taking a while. Following an earlier hearing, Goodman blasted the prosecutors, accusing them of being without a car, a pistol, and witnesses for a staggering 27 years. Here's the lowdown on it. The death penalty is not what they want. Although he didn't reveal the specifics, District Attorney Steve Wolfson informed the reporters that Keefe D's case wasn't the kind that required it. Keefe D was being held without bail, and a trial scheduling hearing was held on November 7. After years of NADA on the case, Tupac's sister Sekiwa Setsheker views this arrest as a significant turning point. She is arguing that it is imperative that the people, the legal system, and the globe acknowledge the significance of Tupac's passing. Hold off on rendering a decision until all the facts and legal issues have been resolved. This is unquestionably a crucial time, she said on Instagram. In our community, the 27 years of quiet surrounding this case have spoken loudly. My brother, my mother's son, my father's son, as well as the nation, the legal system, and our people. His life and death are significant and ought to be acknowledged and answered. Indeed, this is a triumph, but I'll hold off on making a decision until all the details and court cases are resolved. There are still a lot of unanswered questions regarding my brother Tupac's life and death, as well as the Shakur family as a whole. Real justice is what we're after on all fronts. Treach offered us a hilarious analysis of Keefe D's mess, as well as some very insightful insight. After waiting for the police for a long 27 years, the rapper had this to say about the arrest.
What do you think about this Keefe D shit?
I think it's a testament of what I just said. If you're a rapper, they're not going to investigate it. And, you know, anything that was said, it was said by the perpetrator.
Word.
So
his testimony is his testimony.
Can't nobody say nobody said.
He's his own witness.
And lawyer, basically, if you're public defender. But it's on the fact, no, it's whatever went on, the system first knew a lot of this way before. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So to clarify what you were saying, you think that the Las Vegas Police Department and the LAPD probably been
No, they've
knew
been
this
on. I've
information.
seen personally documentaries for decades.
Yeah, I did too. I've seen those. You said the documentaries
that came out.
You didn't say documents. You said documentaries.
Yes,
I've seen those documentaries. Yes, you're right.
Like
correct.
Many laying down many details of.
Like there's a dude from Australia. He broke the case down like the FBI. I forget what the fucking name of his documentary is.
Yeah, and if you got on tape in Vegas in a casino of an altercation between different gang factions, it's the number one suspect.
Right.
Already know. Boom.
Right.
Track the track. It's on camera for the cops.
Right.
And then the documentaries come out and say it, and we over there like.
Treach continued by revealing that although Suge had also been called to testify, their generation was of distinct stock. Nobody is striking the stand in vain. That being said, it's hardly a justification for the police to fail to do their duty. Treach claimed that the police had all the information necessary to put someone in handcuffs, but they declined to do so. They have received updates. For years, documentaries have been providing all the details. Your main suspect is right there if a casino in Vegas has video of a gang fight. For the police, everything is recorded, and when documentaries reveal the information, we think it's real. They would have caught him 20 years ago, and he would have been out by now. However, from this point on, there's no way out. This is being done to our own people by our own people. Yet things are as they are. That is how things can be at times. However, there's still more to discuss about Suge and Keefe D, Here's what we learned a few days ago about Keef that will undoubtedly pique your curiosity and leave you wondering if he will survive until his trial starts in the new year. What do you think? Right out of a prison in California, Suge Knight declined an interview. Not surprisingly, he's holding it steady. Even though he was rolling in the car when the rapper got popped, Keefe D. Davis refrained from spying on his childhood friend Dwayne. When Suge Knight learned that Keef had been indicted, he was taken aback. These two have a long history together, dating back to their childhood Pop Warner football games. No matter what kind of mess they're in, Suge is on this no one deserves to go to prison mindset. Suge released. I also don't want him to be arrested. Let me be clear about one thing right away. Keef and I play on the same team, most likely the football squad. I would not want someone to go to prison for anything, even if it were due to my remarks, regardless of the circumstances, whether he was involved with anything or not. On September 29, in Vegas, Keef, an early suspect in Tupac's case, was apprehended. Even though he didn't pull the shot, they are referring to him as the crew's brains. He admitted to providing the gun for the drive-by in Nevada, where playing a part can result in charges even for murder. Shug is now claiming the same thing. He informed the interviewer, after the Taylor story, there are just the two of them in the car talking. Despite my support for the Taylor tale, I must admit that I have never had anything negative to say about Orlando. To start with, he wasn't a shooter. Second, he spoke to me in private, let me go, and was honest. Keith was the mastermind behind the dirty job and hatched the entire idea, according to Las Vegas police. The events that led to Tupac's demise were sparked by that occurrence. According to Anderson, the police chief for Las Vegas, the triggerman died later, claiming he was unrelated to Shekhar's demise. The 60-year-old Keef is currently facing a murder charge with a dangerous weapon and an additional 20 years in prison if he is found guilty of engaging in gang activity. He has a court date, which may have already passed by now. Shug explained that he would not be testifying during the trial when they asked him if he had. I'm not going to get up on the stand and tell you what I think about someone, he said bluntly. If you are called to testify in this case, why not? Why not? Well, first, okay, because I'm not going to get up on the stand and tell you what I think about someone. Suge has been singing this song for a minute now, saying that the gunshot was actually directed at him and that it was all part of a power battle amongst Death Row Records. Either way, Suge and Keef are incarcerated right now. The primary distinction lies in Suge's familiarity with the system. Having spent several years inside, he is already familiar with the system. Despite having only been here for a few months, Keef is already making up for what he did to Pac. Yes, he is facing hardships in prison and has already suffered multiple stomps as a result of the actions he and his group committed in the past. It seems that Keefe D is facing significant challenges while incarcerated, at least according to Reggie Wright Jr.'s report. In a recent interview published on November 17th with Bomb First, he revealed the information. Reggie revealed that Keefe D has been jumped a couple times in jail, and that things could become even worse. Reggie served his time at Suge Knight's Death Row Records and has some family history with the Compton Sheriff Department. Keefe D stated only last month that although he was found not guilty in the Tupac murder case, the court system had been a complete shambles with numerous delays. June 3, 2024 is the scheduled date of his trial. He also has an early 2024 court appearance. Charles Cano and Robert Arroyo, Keefe D's attorneys, are discussing hounding for bail. Although some people believe that Tupac's case will eventually be resolved via justice, others believe that Keefe D's arrest doesn't actually provide much closure. They Kit weighed in, stating nothing can make up for what was lost when Tupac was assassinated.